recording and flagging earned value, but now looking at the cost performance index. In the last video, we looked at the schedule performance index, which, as you recall, has to do with whether the project is behind or ahead of schedule. That's a time dimension, although measured in monetary terms. The cost performance index is more about the cost and whether it is over or under budget. So the second metric here is the CPI, hardcore money evaluation of the project performance. If it's below 1, the project is over budget. So to get back to the bricks analogy, if the project CPI is 0.89, it's over budget by 2,034 bricks. We've used more, wasted them, not laid them, to be clear, more than we had planned. So in the lesson provided, we opened the earned value table in the Studio Remodel project. Today we'll be looking at another project, the baseline, and then examine the project performance against the baseline. We use SPI and CPI. This video is specifically about the CPI. Now, from ChatGPT, in earned value analysis, are used to assess the cost efficiency of a project. It indicates how well the project is performing in terms of its budget. CPI is calculated by dividing the earned value, that would be the BCWP or the EV, by the actual cost, what you're actually spending. And I'm going to show you how that changes. So let's have a look at that project. There's today, and I've said the project started last week. The baseline has been set. So just to reiterate the schedule performance index. So remember, I had created extra fields which would say on schedule, behind schedule. So not behind schedule at the moment. Okay, but let's give a percentage complete on that one at 10%, which then transforms it to behind schedule, as you can see, gives you an SPI of 0.4. But the CPI is still 1, which means it's on cost. Now, the whole thing is the colors changed because remember, I did set that color change using the flag. If you'll recall, double click over here, and the flag was, if it is behind schedule, then it must be black. All right. Okay, or whatever color, but I made it black. Get rid of that because I want to get rid of, the color. I want to make it blue again. So I'm going to get rid of that particular flag. All right. And we'll go back to blue. There we go. Behind schedule 0.4, but it's on the cost performance index is 1, which means the cost is working. But now watch what happens if I change the duration of the original baseline. All right, so let's go here to duration, 20 days. Let's say it takes 23 days. Watch here. Suddenly the cost performance index goes to 0.9, which means it's over budget. The actual cost is now 21. Okay. And the earned value is only 19. If I put the duration back at 20 days, all right, there we go. Sorry, the cost is still 21. It is still behind schedule. So if we give it, let's say, 34% complete, it changes behind schedule. The SPI now changes to 1. The actual cost is now at 53,000. Let's push the duration up to 25 days. All right, SPI changes as well because now the 34% is no longer 34%. It's 27%. So it's behind schedule and it's over budget. Okay, and we've pushed the cost variance from 51 up to 53. So all of which is to say that this is probably the best way to measure the project performance. We can measure its performance by virtue of these dark lines. We can measure its performance by virtue of its shift off the baseline, but that's all going to be quite subjective because you can see here, all right, there it is. It's off the baseline, but this is by the numbers. And we can now say specifically that the schedule performance index is 0.83. It is behind schedule. The percentage complete is only at 27%. The phase at 14, the project at 1. The project is over budget by a value of 2,360. Its actual cost is 53.